Hi, how are you? I'm Cesar Piperno. Um, in the last couple of weeks, you probably have been getting some of my my clips, and I've got a couple of issues today in my mind that I want to express, and that are very important, and they've gone through the media very lightly. Because there are other things that are happening as well, which are not less important. But something has come to my attention today that there's still a court hearing from the accused is Peter John van de Written, complicated name for me to pronounce. What happened is that this tourist, German tourist, was a young girl answered to a job application for to be a nanny in a country area, and she answered to that call, and very quickly her ticket was organized for her to come, and she was very quickly picked up from the bus station, and she was offered a chocolate. She didn't eat it, and she apparently that chocolate was meant to drug her, had something in it, but she didn't eat it. She didn't like it, and then they got to home, to his house, he said, "Turn around, put your hands behind your back, or I will kill you." So this and also said to her on the phone, "Today is my little girl's birthday, so it's nice and feminine for all the girls. Please wear a dress. Please wear a dress." I mean, anyway, and then when he got her into the house, obviously there was no job, there was no birthday, there was nothing. She, 3 or 4 days later, she found herself in the middle of the bush, and she was found by tourists, I think, and she was taken to a hospital, and she was brutally abused and sexually abused. And this actually happened in 2016. Now, but in 2014, this guy had in Australia had a sentence for sexual harassment, and in 2013 he had a case for a sentence for rape. And so here we are, 2007, 2013, 2014, 2016, and now he is now going to court, and he destroyed 4 people, and they're thinking what to do with him. You know what to do with him? Put him in jail for life. He's not going to rehabilitate himself. Those people don't believe in that. Those people don't believe in rehabilitating themselves. We are wasting time. We are wasting time, and we are wasting money in things that are not necessarily a must for Australia. What's a must for Australia is that every Australian has a home, a roof over their head, and every Australian woman is safe and looked after, and if she has a problem, that she is looked after and she is protected. So if a woman gets hurt by a husband, then she has to have the confidence to call the police unit for domestic violence, and they will come straight away, and they would stop the men from coming in. They will put him in jail for while they're processing, and they will give the opportunity for the woman to either stay home or look for another place to start to live with her kids if she has any. And it's up to the law what happens after. It's after, then the men should get a 10-year sentence because you destroyed someone, and it will take that woman probably 10 years to rebuild her house, her home. Someone hit someone, will do it again. All this thing about, oh, I will never do it again, I love you, you made me do it because you're too pushy, or you're too jealous, or no, you're just not a man. If you hit a woman, you're just not a man. So you should be treated like a criminal and be put in jail for 10 years. And if possible, in a different state of where your ex-wife lives. So I know I'm throwing a lot of ideas there, but this is what my intention is, that a lot of ideas come up, and that maybe a group is set up that can put pressure on governments, state, local, federal, to relook at things, rethink, because things are being handled much more or less the same way for the last 30 years. For the last 30 years, everything in that area has pretty much been handled the same way. So we need to have tougher laws, more money for it's impossible that you can tell me that Australia doesn't have the money and the capacity and the know-how to build hundreds of houses for people in a year. I don't believe it. I just, Australia, it's a rich, powerful, committed, serious, humane country. And we should act like that. And look, the other thing that came up to my attention was that in April 2018, Miss Haddad had a relationship with a Brazilian gentleman, or he now is a Brazilian criminal. His name is Mario Marcelo Santoro. He was today given in Brazil 27 years for killing his Australian girlfriend in Australia. Now, how this happened is that she ended the relationship in Australia. They were living in Australia. She ended the relationship. He did not accept of that. He wouldn't leave her house. He would continue to want to pretend to have a relationship. All her friends concede that she wanted to break it off, and he didn't. And one morning, he happened to book a ticket to Brazil first thing in the morning. But before that, he had killed his girlfriend. He killed his girlfriend and he went to Brazil. And in Brazil, like in a lot of countries where there are corruptions, where there is corruptions, if you are wealthy enough, not only you get your sentence reduced, because unfortunately countries like Argentina, Chile, Uruguay, in Latin America, the chauvinism it's quite strong. So I'm sure that his parents being able to afford a good lawyer, and he will now serve 27 years of his life if he gets to do the 27 years of his life, because maybe he gets a good behavior a good behavior report and gets released earlier, or whatever it might be, or there might be more money involved, so the sentence will be reduced. He will have his own place, his own little cell, with his own little requirements, and with obviously the human contact of a woman, because that's what how wealthy people live in these prisons, these animals. So I just think that there should have been a system, and I don't know exactly the laws between Australia and Brazil, whether you can actually claim the return of a criminal. And he should have served his sentence here in Australia, and not 27 years, a life. If you take a life, you must pay with your life. And you're lucky enough that you don't get killed. You get locked up for life. And if you hurt your partner for the first time, you must get 10 years. So that woman has got a chance to remake her life, to have a start, to move somewhere, to meet someone that loves her truly, to look after her kids. And preferably that criminal should serve the sentence in another state, far from where she lives. And those things sound crazy, but we need to think of a different way. Like I said, we've been thinking the same way for the last 30 years. And to me, we need to have a special unit for domestic violence police, purely and only for domestic violence police, because we can't have a woman calling that they're gonna kill me, my husband is gonna kill me, and the operator to say the closest car is 45 minutes. Not in Australia. And we should have a unit that is responsible for that. We should have centers in country areas where the woman gets taken to the support group, gets advice on all her legals, gets counseling if necessary for her or kids, gets housing if she needs it, or if she wants to stay in a house, then the husband will have to deal with his 10-year jail sentence, and let her have a life. So this is where I'm going to be going. This is where I want to go. This is where I want Australian women to feel like every night safe. And if there is a problem, that she's safe enough to pick up the phone and say, my husband yesterday, he hit me, and I'm scared for my life and my kids. And then within 20 minutes or 10 minutes or 5 minutes, you have a unit that will protect you, that will not allow your husband to come into the house, and so on, and protect you. A lot of the cases are not being reported because women are scared that the husband will come back and kill them. So that is my contribution today, and I want to engage people to send me messages if they feel like, and we need to be loud on this. So till the next clip, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you soon.